Hi, and welcome to Personal Playback, where we talk about things that matter to people who matter. My name is Sterling, and welcome to episode 6. We have a very special guest here today, Jessica. Please tell the people who you are.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I don't know, what do you want to know?
You can talk about how we met, any future plans that you have, or what you do, what you want to do, things like that.
So Sterling and I met at the courthouse. He was a runner and I'm an advocate, and I just see him all the time, and I felt like I kind of had to make him talk to me because he wasn't really a talker. But now here we are, sitting together, chatting.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say, first of all, I am super appreciative that you came onto the podcast. For the most part, it's been friends and family that I've had on the podcast. And so really, I think you're the first coworker or associate other than like my actual close group of friends and family.
Ooh.
So I definitely appreciate you coming on. And it's a special event for me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So today, we're here to talk about a song by Asking Alexandria called Alone in a Room. So Jessica, could you please give us a spoiler-free review of the song that you picked?
I don't know what a spoiler would be because I'm not going to sing it or anything. So
I like asking this question specifically because it is vague. Mm-hmm. So it is whatever you think you can reveal without revealing the whole song, I guess.
So for me, it was like a rescuer in a way. I used to be on pills real bad, and coming off of them, I went on methadone, and that was like a terrible experience. So I would listen to this song and walk around on my back patio just in circles and just listen to the song over and over again, just to try and somehow get my mind out of like that cycle of wanting to go get the pills. It was like my craving stopper in a way. And then if you are to look up the song or read the lyrics or whatever, it's for them as a band. It was also about addiction and just recovery. So it was weird because I didn't know that at the time, but like I just think it's cool that I related to them in that way. I don't know, I just really like that band too.
Very cool. So, for our audience, feel free to listen to it before or after this episode and consider your own perspective. Mm-hmm. So, Jessica, where did you first hear the song? And you started to talk about some of the things that were happening in your life at the time.
I just think, in general, I just like that band, and I think I would just listen to different ones of their songs because I don't know, I just feel like I related to most of them in a way. Mm-hmm. I like his voice. I don't really know. I don't really have an answer for that question. I just came across it and I don't know, just stuck. Mm. I still like listening to that song. Not as much as obviously then, but I mean, that song will never get old.
Sure. Mm. Yeah. What were, if any, some musical parts that stood out to you? Like, is there a particular instrument that you listen to the most when you listen to either this song or songs in general, or was there a specific part that's your favorite in the song?
Probably the singer more so than the instruments. I mean, I like the drums, I like the guitar, I like all of that, but I guess just the singer. But my reason would be because like they're not the most important person, but just the lyrics is obviously what I'm going to relate to, and so that's what makes me want to listen to different types of songs, if I relate to it or not. So that would be, the singer for sure. Yeah.
Do you think that you like the sound of his voice as well, or is it much more the lyrics and stuff?
I don't know really, because I probably wouldn't listen to them if I didn't like their voice to be able to even find out if I like their lyrics or not. So sure. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, if it hasn't crossed your mind, probably.
No, yeah, I don't, because music's just, I can really listen to whatever, especially it just depends on that mood, whatever mood I'm in that day depends on what I'm going to listen to. I'll always go back to rock, though, always.
I do know people, I've met people who don't change what they listen to based on how they feel. And that messes with me a little bit. I feel like people are multifaceted in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And for someone to go, I just want to listen to happy music because I always want to be happy. That just feels very disingenuous.
Fake. Yeah. No. Mm-mm. If I'm pissed off, I'm going to listen to something that's going to... I don't know. I don't do that as much now, though. I feel like years ago, that's what I would do. I would... Whatever I felt like I would listen to more so. But now I try not to do that because then I feel like that pushes me into that angrier portion.
Yeah, like a cyclical thing.
Yeah.
Kind of perpetuating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think that this song is a great example of musical context. And what I mean by that is if you listen to the words, and we can talk about the words in just a second too, they, what even were the words?
It'd be cool if I could just start singing them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Good.
Okay. It's not a good idea.
All I needed was the last thing I wanted, to sit alone in a room and say it all out loud. Every moment, every second, every trespass, every awful thing, every broken dream. And so what I think is really interesting is that when you look at those lyrics kind of in a vacuum, away from the guitars and the drums and stuff, it's a very almost mournful kind of song. So I could see it with just a piano and someone's just in a room and it's just this ballad and it's slow and all that. Yeah. But it's not. Mm-mm. Like the context makes it angry.
Yeah.
And so I really like songs like this because, as we were talking about, it's important to listen to different styles of music because they express different emotions and they tackle different things. But when you listen to it at first, you could go, oh, this is a regretful, mournful thing. Maybe there's a loss of a loved one or something. There's trauma. But in this musical context, it's not just regret, but it's shame and, again, anger at something. So it's maybe a mistake that you made, or, man, I should have known this, and things like that. So it changes almost the definition of the emotion just slightly to, like, for each person. So, again, I just really like, and that's another reason why I like metal music. I like metal, like heavy metal and stuff.
Yeah.
Because there aren't always a lot of safe ways to be mad.
Right.
Like you have danger rooms where you can go and break stuff or whatever.
Yeah, rage rooms.
Rage rooms, yeah. But you have to pay for it. Or you just have to go and break something else. But there aren't a lot of safe ways to be mad. And music is one of those safe ways that I feel most people can get behind and just be mad in a song for 4 minutes, 3 minutes, or whatever.
And just relating to.
Yeah.
Knowing somebody else has also felt that, regardless if it's the same reason.
Yeah.
Still the same emotion.
Yeah. So really cool. I like that a lot. But speaking of the lyrics, were there any lyrics that stuck out to you as you listened to the song?
Probably the whole damn thing. Like, the chorus, obviously, because I didn't want to sit by myself. Like, I grew up by myself in a way. I was alone most of the time. And so I think I tried to avoid that at all costs, especially after I felt like dug myself into a huge hole that was so hard to get out of. It was, I don't know, it's really hard to rebuild relationships with people when you've done so many things to hurt them. It's I don't know, I can't even explain it. But to be where I am now makes me more appreciative of the relationships because of how hard I've had to work to make them whole again. So I don't know, regardless of the shit that I did, I'm thankful for it because I don't think I would be in this headspace that I am now. So.
I'm happy you're here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here too. Thank you.
What do you feel now when you listen to the song?
Now I feel hope, but I also feel like, I don't know what word I'm looking for. Accomplished, I guess would be a good word for it. happiness. I don't know. I guess I could name a bunch of positive words for it because now I can look back and see how much it did help, but just in general, just how much I've grown and become just the person I believe that I'm supposed to be. Hopefully working towards fulfilling the purpose that I was given.
So now it's more of a victory lap than a fighting through sort of.
Yeah. Every day is not a challenge. I don't wake up like, another day to try and get through this mind game. I'm actually like happy, ready to go. I mean, I get up at 4:20 in the morning to get up to go work out, then to go to work. Like, I never would have been that person. Never thought I could be that person. It's just, I don't know. It's cool.
Very cool. So is this similar or different to what type of music you listen to now? I know I think you still listen to them as well.
Yeah. I don't feel I listen to them as much as I did. And I definitely don't listen to Shinedown. I used to listen to Shinedown a lot too. They were definitely top 3. But I don't really listen to them that much anymore. I listen to more so, I guess, Bring Me the Horizon, Falling in Reverse, Russ. Like, just, I don't know, just weird genres. And then I listen to more so what my daughter wants to listen to. So she's like into Jessie Murph and Black Bear, Machine Gun Kelly. Just, I don't know. I really don't. Music doesn't impact me as much as it did then. Like now it's just, I enjoy listening to it. It's not more so I have to listen to it to get through the day.
Yeah. What do you feel influenced your taste in music to be more rock and heavy and things like that?
So I used to live in North Carolina, and there was a station. My dad would listen to it every morning. Every time he would take me to school, it was like 92.3 or something. It was a rock station, and that's like, it was like more so Led Zeppelin and AC/DC, Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's like kind of having a part of him, even though it's not the same kind of genre. It's still, I don't know. And plus, I wasn't allowed to listen to rap and stuff then, even though I listen to it now. But I don't know. I guess it's just part of me. It's just what I like. I don't know.
Seems somewhat inherited.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, it you do have, even though it's not the same artists and stuff, you do have your own individuality.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And it's cool to see that you, sometimes when I think about quote unquote old people in music, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I don't want to get to the point where I genuinely believe, kids these days and their music. I remember when music was actually good and things like that.
Right.
It's
it doesn't
just
matter. Yeah.
So it's cool that you give your daughter the space to listen to the music that she likes too. So.
Yeah. She listens to some interesting stuff. I think a lot of parents would be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're letting her listen to that." But why not? I'd rather her have questions with me than ask other people that have no idea. I don't know. I like being somebody that she can confide in. And I feel like that's like just part of the way we connect. I don't know. We have a really good connection, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about the things that kids enjoy, because if you can talk about those, then you can talk about the things that they might not enjoy, like, oh, I'm being bullied, or I'm not having trouble making friends, or things like that. If they can talk to you about the small things, then they can also talk to you about the little things.
Yeah, it's just it's a big deal for me to, I don't know, I just want her to know that she can tell me anything. Like, I'm not going to judge you. I'll do my best to help you get through whatever, but there's nothing that you can't ask of me. Like, I don't care. Whatever. Just ask.
Did you want to talk about the faith stuff, or?
Let's talk about it. Because I still feel like there's a root cause as to why you swayed away from God.
So I was in a church a while ago. And, well, I was in 2 different churches a while ago, I guess. But I did a lot in church. I was a worship leader. I did stuff with teens. Like, there wasn't an official teen, I don't know, program or anything like that. But I took it upon myself to do things for them. Like, I had an apartment, and so I took a group of the younger professional people, they call them YoPros, and just made events. I would cook for them. I would, I think one of my favorite ones, there was a fake job interview, and we made up jobs like alligator tamer or something like that.
I would enjoy that.
And we would have them interview for these jobs without telling them what the job was. So, and we didn't even tell them what they were doing. It was just, all right, so welcome to the interview today. What are some of your qualifications? And they would not only have to make up their qualifications, but they would have to vie for this position without knowing what it was. So it was a good way for them to be creative, and just for us to get to know them, them to get to know us and things like that. So I did a lot of stuff. That's, I don't know, maybe half of the stuff I did. Like, I took my faith very seriously, and I prayed every day, and I read every day, and all this stuff. But eventually, I asked myself, if I didn't pray, would all of these things still have happened? And to make a long story short, I believe the answer is yes. I hadn't and haven't really had a point in my life where I felt like things happened because of my prayers. I hadn't really had a point in my life where I felt like God was actually talking to me. And especially with psychology, it was something I hated at first, but it really does kind of unspiritualize, for lack of a better and or real word, a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of stuff with dreams that, first of all, we don't understand everything, but a lot of things that make significant spiritual feelings actually seem more commonplace. And even when it came to free will, that was something that I struggled with. Does free will actually exist? And because you can influence people's behavior in so many ways, you can make people more hungry by changing the colors on the wall, things of that nature.
And make them eat faster by the how fast the music is.
Yeah.
And shop faster.
Yeah. And then there's just so many things that I was like, do we just not understand it yet? But when it came to faith, and in particular, I think it started with prayer, I had thought, I'm still depressed. Sometimes I still just want to die. I just want it to be over. I still have these relationships that I do not care for. I still have family that I don't care for. I still am poor, lots of things. And there came a point where I thought, I thought about the phrase, God helps people who help themselves. And it just felt like I could just help myself. I didn't want to. Something that we had talked about sort of before we started recording was that I genuinely didn't want to leave the faith. And even now, sometimes I think about it in a real positive light. Like, it's nice to have hope. It is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to believe that there is a reason for everything, or that you are guided by someone who knows everything, who can predict everything. Well, not predict, but like just knows it. And not having that, it's just you. And that is hard. But something that I came to terms with a while ago was that just because it is hard or more difficult doesn't mean it's not true. And just because it feels good doesn't mean it is true. And so I've done a lot of work to again, just to come to terms with what I actually believe. And I've also done a lot of work to not discriminate, I suppose is a word, but to look down on people who do believe, whether that's God or Allah or Buddhism or
Satan.
Anything else.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely don't think that it is healthy to introduce this idea to people who either aren't ready for it, like developmentally, to go to a kid, hey, by the way, there's no meaning.
Right, you're living for nothing.
It's all kind of pointless.
You're gonna die, and there's just gonna be nothing.
Yeah, when you die, it doesn't really matter.
Nothing.
Do
you believe in ghosts then?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I was gonna ask that. Like maybe they would, think about becoming a ghost or a spirit.
I'm open to any question that you got.
You were just on a roll, so I didn't want to. I want you to keep going.
Yeah.
I feel like you were figuring some stuff out.
Putting it into words is a bit different. But yeah. So it was the prayer and also when it comes to faith in things, a conclusion that I've sort of drawn is that have you heard of snake oil?
Possibly.
It's not really a thing. Well, it was a thing, but the whole idea is just, oh, you're going bald? Snake oil. Snake oil is going to help your baldness. Oh, you have a boil that you want to go away? Snake oil. Snake oil is going to help this. Oh, you can't get pregnant? Snake oil. That's going to help your fertility.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of a cure-all, but it was a hoax.
Yeah.
It's just something that people didn't have any way to check. Mm-hmm. And so just keep using it till it works.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't, and then you can't sue the guy because they're already out of town.
Right. Or you become blind.
Yeah.
Or lose a limb.
And so in a lot of instances, well, it felt like the prayer was snake oil. But when it comes to behavior in people, another reason that I thought of atheism as a whole, when taken either out of context or just not explained very well, could be very damaging, is because it is hard to agree for people what the right thing is. Nobody really knows most of the time, and so I remember I've even been talking to people at my job, like the kids that I work with. There isn't really an agreed upon right or wrong. And even when there is, it's kind of up for debate as to what it means most of the time. And so religion or faith in general tends to be a more effective than nothing way to control behavior. And I don't say that as it's a hoax and it's a lie and it's just as you said earlier, like a puppeteer sort of thing. But if I were to tell 1,000 people, there's probably someone who's killed somebody in 1,000 people.
Oh yeah,
possibly
multiple people, I'm sure.
But if I were to tell all those people murder is wrong, and just stop there, some would agree with me and go, you know what? He's probably cooking. He's probably right. You know? But some people would go,
I'm gonna go murder somebody.
I'm gonna go murder somebody right now,
just to be spiteful.
But when it comes to faith, there's another layer of authority that you can say murder is wrong because God said so. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I do have like a philosophy that I try to live by, but it has no bearing on anybody else. It's just the way that I choose to live.
Right.
And you could say that for faith, but there is another layer of God's going to judge you or punish, or God at least sees what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And there is no time when you're alone and anything's secret from God. Like that's always present. And so even if it's a feel bad sort of thing, God is always there with Christianity. And that is a way to communicate that some behavior is acceptable and some is not, without having to necessarily convince everybody each step of the way of like, yeah, so we're all social creatures, and in order to live, we all have to operate within the means of our society and not, upset the, like you don't have to do that. You just said, God says it's wrong, so it's wrong. And it's a sort of moral shorthand rather than explaining all the steps and going through all the logic and all this other stuff. So it is extremely useful in that sense. Doesn't mean it's true or untrue, but it is useful with that sort of, again, the shorthand with religion. But that is something that also made me doubt it. It is just, I know it's useful, but useful doesn't always mean true.
Do you think you overcomplicate things or overthink things?
I'm sure I do.
Do you think that you do you think you possibly talked yourself out of it?
I'm sure I could have.
Because, like, I feel like it's supposed to be simple, but it's supposed to be hard as well. Like, that path isn't supposed to be... Because, you're being led by the Spirit or you're being led by flesh. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, the Spirit's obviously going to be harder because the flesh, the desires that has. So, not giving into those, I think, is just also part of it, too. And then, when you said that you never really heard God talk to you, well, I think a lot of us don't realize that He's speaking because it's a whisper. Like, you really have to sit with it, and a lot of us don't actually sit and not do anything because it's so easy to just pick up your phone or, just constantly be doing something. My best friend moved to Portugal in November, and I talked to her the other day for her birthday, and the presence that she has now is, she's just so free. Mm. It is the weirdest, wildest thing I've ever seen. Like, I didn't even recognize just the aura that she had. It was wild. But it's because there's the technology and stuff is not like it is here. Sure. It's the 7th safest country in the world. Mm. I could not imagine living like that. That would be phenomenal. So I think that's just also, I don't know, I think that's just part of it too for us, is that we don't allow ourselves to feel anything anymore in a way, to be able to actually believe in anything, if that makes sense.
Something, well, I suppose to tie back into the lyrics of the song, something that I've sat in a room and said out loud was that, I suppose just for some context before the actual conclusion, I have lived for a long time looking forward, but not in the most helpful way. I have thought, I just have to suffer through now so that I can get to whatever is coming, whether that's jobs or relationships or physical ailments even. Like, it's just going to happen, and it sucks, and now is going to suck, but the future is going to be better. But something that I realized, I listened to a song from a movie that I watched called Belle. The movie is okay, but the soundtrack is awesome. And I was in tears when I was listening to the song. But something that I had to learn was that beauty is here now. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just coming, but it is here.
Be present,
I hate dancing. I hate it. I cannot do it. I can do line dancing, which is funny, but I only can tolerate line dancing because there is a decorum. Like, there is a thing that, here's the rules, here's the set thing that you do.
Okay.
Just do that, and you're with everybody else, and you're good. I've never been to a club or to a house party or any sort of party and I'm just going to be free. Never been who I am. Absolutely not. And so, I think, to your point, I very easily could have, talked myself out of it. But it is just the way that I understand the world. I could always go back, and I left too, knowing that I could go back. I personally didn't leave and say, I'm never doing this again. I think if my heart is pulled in the right direction, I could very easily go back. But the way that I am right now, I think I don't want to just go through the motions, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. You need to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's all about growth.
Yeah.
What you're doing right now is working for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get a sign of something, you know, that'll lead you somewhere else. You never know.
Never know. So I have one more question.
Okay.
This is back on the song. What would you tell someone listening to the first time to brace them for the experience?
I don't know. I guess maybe I would ask them if there was something that they were struggling with, and maybe tell them to have that at the forefront of their mind to possibly see if that would help them work through it, or just be, I don't know, like that would just be the helper, I guess. Yeah, I guess I would just tell them that if there was something that they were struggling with, that hopefully would help them be rehabilitated from it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's my answer. That's what we're going with.
That's a good one. No, I think the song is also, it does a really good job of not being super specific other than be alone in a room, say it out loud.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I think everybody can do. You know, and it is hard. It is hard.
It's very hard.
Even that in and of itself is a difficult thing to do, because no one else is going to change your mind other than you. No one else is going to convince you to do something other than you.
I don't think we realize how strong our minds are and how much power it holds. And what we feed it really does influence everything. Our thoughts, our actions. I don't know, what you put in there, it's literally going in your body and staying there, just like with drugs. I mean, just staying there. So I don't know, I wish I just hope everybody makes better choices. Maybe that would be the purpose of listening to the song, to help them to make better choices.
Yeah.
I don't know, just to lead by example.
And to be intentional, I think, too.
Yeah.
It's, as you said, like what you put in stays in.
Yeah.
And so if all you put in is just things that are happening to you, you know, just at work, at whatever relationships you have or whatever, if you don't take any time to, this is what I'm going to believe, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to think, then it's just things are happening to you.
Yeah.
You know.
And then when you actually do have a conversation, what I think is also a problem is we're just reacting. We're not responding. We just straight up react because we don't have time to just sit there and just not do anything. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you have anything else that you? Well, that is where we can call it. This has been Personal Playback, where we talk about things that matter with people who matter. And remember, you matter too. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Sterling.
And I'll see you